The Choctaw Indians are a group of Native Americans who settled in the Mississippi River Valley. Historically known as fierce warriors, agriculturalists, and traders, the tribe is one of the largest active Native American communities today. Their ancestral homelands span central and southern Mississippi. These lands were fertile, with abundant crops of things like corn and squash. To communicate with one another, the tribe used their native tongue, also called Choctaw. This language is part of the Muskogean language family, and it is classified as endangered. Today it has around 10,000 speakers residing in Oklahoma and Mississippi. The language has a few unique features. It's polysynthetic, meaning that words are often long and made up of smaller parts called affixes. Additionally, verbs change based on whether or not the subject has agency over the action, a feature that linguists call volition. Consonants and vowels are similar to English, although Choctaw also includes the voiceless lateral fricative. In the early 1800s, a series of policies inflicted by the U.S. government posed immediate threats to the Choctaw Tribe and language. Starting with the Treaty of Fort Adams in 1801, the tribe was forced to cede millions of acres in land to the U.S. government due to the influx of new settlers. After much controversy, the Indian Removal Act was passed in 1830, and the tribe was forced to give up their ancestral homelands, rich and fertile, for unsettled lands in Oklahoma. President Jackson forced the Choctaw to give up their homelands and move westward. Roughly 70,000 people were forced out of the region, and at least 3,000 lost their lives. This walk is now known as the Trail of Tears. After their forced relocation, Christian missionaries in Oklahoma promoted the development of new boarding schools and eliminated the previous tribal school systems. These boarding schools enforced the use of English, with the goal of making the Choctaw people assimilate. Sadly, those who attempted to speak their native language were ridiculed and even abused. These efforts were a major factor in the decline of the language, causing entire generations to speak English as to not face oppression and consequences from authority figures. Interestingly, the Choctaw orthography was simultaneously being created. This language, like most native languages, has a strong oral tradition and did not have a written script. In the 1800s, Cyrus Byington, a trained lawyer, joined the Choctaw community as a missionary. Rather than forcing the tribe to learn English, Byington found a passion in understanding the language and developed the ability to preach and write his sermons in it. Towards the end of his life, he published a full grammar of the language. His work is considered foundational in creating a written account for Choctaw. World War I brought about a fascinating resurgence of Choctaw. Germans were tapping into Allied phone lines and deciphering their communication. U.S. military officials decided to train Choctaw people, use their words as code, and place them at command posts so that messages could be transmitted without being deciphered. 19 Choctaw men have been documented as being the first to use their native language as code to transmit military messages in the U.S. Historians say that these messages were instrumental in helping the Allies win key battles in the final weeks of World War I. In the past few decades, there have been commendable efforts to help promote the revitalization of Choctaw. The Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma has established the Choctaw Anampa, an online school dedicated to make language learning accessible. The nation has also published an online dictionary for public use. In Mississippi, the Choctaw Tribal School System exists, where those who are at least 25% Native American can attend and learn in both English and Choctaw. As we conclude this dive into the history of the Choctaw, we acknowledge a complex but resilient cultural legacy. At its core lies the Choctaw language, weaving together the past, present, and future, preserving traditions and fostering an enduring sense of identity for generations to come.